Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Matt Ripking, and I lead the financial services vertical here at LinkedIn Sales Solutions. As you may know, financial services is the fastest growing industry segment on LinkedIn. And I'm very excited to talk to you today about one of the fastest growing trends within that industry amongst this important customer base. And that's this concept of CRM sync, the ability of financial institutions like yourself to integrate LinkedIn and Sales Navigator directly with your system of record CRM. The good news is this whole process is much easier than you think. So before we begin today, let's just run through a few logistics. First, audio is only available on voice over IP, so there is no dial-in. We are going to share a recording of this session post-session. Secondly, if you are experiencing any audio issues, just refresh your browser. Typically, we recommend Google Chrome or Firefox. And then thirdly, we will be monitoring the chat. Just enter your questions in the Q&A panel, and we will either respond to them at the conclusion of the event today, or we'll respond via your relationship or sales professional after the fact. Let's just quickly take a look at our agenda. We're going to focus on a few things today. So first of all, I'm going to start us off with a bit of industry perspective on what we're seeing in the industry and what that means for platforms like LinkedIn and how you can use your data to better marry with that system of record. Secondly, we'll talk a little bit about the actual value proposition of CRM sync and CRM integration because there are real and tangible benefits associated with them. Third, one of our solutions consultants is actually going to show you some of the feature and functionality. This certainly will be a taster to give you an idea of what to expect, and we'll certainly be able to go for much deeper demos post-session if you were so inclined. And then finally, the part I'm looking forward to the most, we're very, very fortunate to have an actual customer on the line with us today who will talk to you a little bit about their experience and actually fairly recently turning on CRM sync and integrating their system of record with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So let's jump in. As I mentioned, financial services, fastest growing segment here at LinkedIn. And, it's probably fair to say that financial institutions were a bit slower in coming around to the usage of LinkedIn as a way to grow your brand and perhaps more importantly, grow your business. That slowness has stopped. And in fact, even stretching back 5-6 years, we are starting to see more and more velocity in this industry as more and more financial institutions look at LinkedIn as that engine of growth. So we are incredibly fortunate to have relationships with 8 of the 10 largest banks, some of the largest wealth managers in the world, and have a real dominant position in the asset management space as well. But these are just numbers and stats. What about the institutions behind them? One of the most common questions I get when I speak to customers is they say, Matt, what are financial institutions not doing that other leading users of LinkedIn are doing? And one of the most common answers I give to that is they're integrating their Sales Navigator and their LinkedIn data directly into their CRM. Now, this is starting to change. 25% of large financial institutions on my team now CRM integrate. Now, 25%, there's still a long ways to go. But when you consider just a short year ago, that number was less than 10%. So we really do see the beginning of a new trend in the industry as institutions not only more fully embrace the power of LinkedIn, but also think about how do we take that data and enrich your CRM. Now, when we think about what we're seeing with customers, right, we're seeing a couple key trends, and they're relevant to this concept of CRM integration. So I don't need to probably tell anyone on this call that competition is pretty fierce in the space, a lot happening in the industry, interest rate environment, market volatility, the regional banking crisis. All of that has created a more competitive landscape. And most financial institutions we talk to are still trying to balance this concept of net new client acquisition alongside growing existing clients' share of wallet. So what we find and what institutions are telling us is this concept of actually marrying your own data with LinkedIn's data in your CRM instance can actually create competitive advantage. Secondly, love this. This is actually a quote from our Microsoft CTO, that CEO, that data is the new currency. When I think about our financial institution customers, most of you are blessed with huge amounts of data. You've built your own data lakes. You reference multiple sources, including some of your own. But financial institutions also recognize that LinkedIn has really unique data. We are the largest database of real-time first-party data in the world. And many financial institutions are saying, how do we take that data and marry it with ours? And there's two ways to do that. One, of course, is the CRM integration that we're talking about. But there's also, for the very first time, an opportunity to bulk export LinkedIn firmographic data into your own data lakes. Not a focus for today's conversation, but if something you're interested in, we can certainly talk offline. And then finally, trust still matters, right? I think during the pandemic, obviously, the ways of working changed. Face-to-face meetings slowed to a standstill. And when you look at financial services, they are the most back to work, back to the office, back to face-to-face than most other industries. But that doesn't mean digital has faded away. Most institutions are looking at how do we take the digital lessons we learned from the pandemic, marry them with the face-to-face, and still think about how do we build trust and instill confidence in our customers. And this concept of know your customer is a big component of building trust. And there's perhaps no better way to know your customer by then taking LinkedIn's data and marrying it against your own data in your system of record. So there are some very specific value propositions of CRM integration or CRM sync. I'll just quickly highlight three. First of all, it does help you reduce risk. Executives in this country and around the world are changing jobs every day. And whenever a key stakeholder or decision maker changes a job, those of us in sales, marketing, and relationship management, that creates risk, right? Risk to deals, risk to relationships. In the US alone, in the last year, 260,000 plus C-level executives switched jobs. So those are individual risk points for any financial institution. So with CRM integration, you'll actually be able to run reports and queries that show you everyone that has changed jobs in the recent past that might create risk, but it's also going to allow you to quickly update where a key client contact is if he or she has changed jobs. Secondly, CRM sync will actually increase your productivity. At a minimum, we can make the Salesforce, the Sales Navigator LinkedIn data visible in your CRM instance. And what that's going to do is keep your sales and relationship managers from having to toggle back and forth between multiple interfaces. It's going to reduce that friction and save that time. And perhaps more importantly, many financial institutions still struggle with CRM adoption. So it actually can drive more time and spent in your system of record, right? And actually support your adoption goals. And then finally, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, by enabling CRM integration, we actually can run much more granular and metrics-driven ROI reports. So many of you ask, like, how do we assess the value and the return of our Sales Navigator investment? Well, CRM integration is the best way to do that, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So I'm excited to kick off our conversation today, but we want to get under the hood a little bit and show you what it looks like. Now, I will say this is going to be a pretty high-level demo, and we certainly would expect that you might have additional questions or features, functions that you might want to see, and we certainly can go deeper at individual customer levels. But today, we want to show you a little bit of the art of the possible with CRM integration. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good colleague, Dylan Friddle, one of our key solutions consultants, who will walk you through some of that feature functionality. Dylan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. So as Matt mentioned, we're going to go into a high-level demonstration of two main use cases. We know that Sales Navigator is being used amongst a lot of financial institutions in a variety of ways, but we're going to be focusing on a B2C use case with financial advisors and wealth managers, and then also followed by a B2B use case of commercial bankers. Now, before we jump into a formalized demonstration of what this looks like, let's go and see what this actually looks like inside of CRM. And for the purposes of today's demonstration, we're going to showcase Salesforce, but keep in mind that we also do support Dynamics. And we have a close partnership with Microsoft as well. Now, when we log into the CRM, we're actively pulling intelligence from the Sales Navigator platform to provide me context into who I'm working with, whether that's a company or a specific person. So on the right side, I see my Sales Navigator widget, and it's dynamically giving me information based off where I'm at inside of Salesforce. For today's purposes, we're going to go into LinkedIn as an example. And with a quick click, I could go directly into the Sales Navigator platform. To Matt's point, saving me time and energy going back and forth between the platforms, I can stay within my flow of work right inside of this Sales Navigator widget on the right side of the screen here. I can also have a variety of insights brought down from Sales Navigator as well. The first one that I'll highlight is the recent activity. This is going to be my news outlet for the different institutions I'm working with or the people that I'm working with as well. Now, this isn't just LinkedIn updates. This isn't things that are just getting posted on social, while those are included. We also do partner with several news outlets to surface any intelligence on the account that we can that will provide that actionable intelligence to provide me what's going on at the account and how can I best partner with this institution. Better yet, we understand that relationships are huge in the financial services space, and we want to provide that relationship intelligence to you. And we have those connections visible right in the middle of the screen here. What it's showing me out of the box is all my connections, first things first, showing me the people that I know at the organization. But better yet, I can even leverage things like TeamLink, which allows me to leverage not only my network inside of LinkedIn, but also my colleagues' network. Those individuals that are also using Sales Navigator, I can tap into their network as well, really saving me time and energy, and also helping me gain that warm introduction as well, knowing who they know as well. And better yet, as we use the CRM and the Sales Navigator integration, we're going to tailor those insights of those people that you should be working with within the recommended leads panel. So as we close one business, as we navigate inside of Sales Navigator and start to save leads, we're actively able to pull down those resources to see those typical job titles and people that I should be working with here in the future. Now, as I mentioned before, that's just a quick teaser of what this looks like inside a CRM. Now, what we'll do is actually go through a formalized use case behind a financial advisor. And that's where we're going to meet Angela. Now, Angela is a financial advisor, and her main priorities are aligning with her portfolio business to help her clients navigate the current financial changes and also help gain more 401k rollover for her firm. Now, I'm going to pretend that I'm Angela for the purpose of today's demo, and we're going to see how the power of Sales Navigator and the CRM integration can help us accomplish our goals. Now, when I log into the Sales Navigator platform, the CRM is actively pushing my book of business over so that I get tailored insights just for me. And my focus as a financial advisor is to put my needs of my clients first and gain new business for my firm. As Matt mentioned, there's a lot of people moving jobs more than ever before, and this puts us in a unique position to really be prescriptive with how we can help our clients. LinkedIn leverages dynamic first-party data to give us the ability to find exactly the right person at the right time. For today, I'm going to utilize the Save Search capability of Sales Navigator that allows LinkedIn to take the brunt of my prospecting efforts off of me and just surface the people that I should be working with at any given time. More specifically, going into that use case of people changing jobs, I, as a financial advisor, I want to gain 401k share for my business in my firm that I'm working with. I can leverage Save Search to allow me to kind of take a backseat and allow LinkedIn to do the hard work for me, to find those people that have changed jobs in the last 90 days and leverage any other filter criteria that we can use inside of the LinkedIn platform to surface that intelligence here. And more importantly, since we're integrated with CRM, I can find those people that are in my book of business, whether that's just people in CRM, or I can even pull in specific lead lists as well to tailor these insights and get me exactly who I should be working with at any given time. And as I mentioned before, I really want to focus on building relationships with my people and putting my clients first. I can see all those individuals that have changed jobs recently, and those might be key indicators for me to start a conversation with them to pull the 401k over from their previous company to us and help them solidify and change their financial goals that may have realigned based on their move. I get proactive email alerts as well with the Safe Search capability on a weekly basis, so that each of these leads push to me so that I don't have to look for it, saving me a lot of time to stay efficient and also stay on the opportunity to seize more business. Now, one person that's recently came up in my list here is actually Taylor Lewis. Now, Taylor Lewis has gotten a recent promotion, and this for me indicates that I might want to reach out to her to start to build my knowing of Taylor and potentially gain new business for my firm as well. So when we look at Taylor's profile, we can see what's changed, where she's moved to potentially, if she moved companies. I can see all that insight from within Sales Navigator. The other piece with the interoperability between Sales Navigator and CRM, wherever I'm at, I have a quick click that I can get into the other platform with ease. So when I click into her profile, I'm immediately taken into our CRM. And this is where I get additional details on Taylor. Again, that single source of truth. All that information is readily available right here inside of my CRM. More importantly, if I wanted to surface any financial accounts, my assets under management I have with Taylor, all those things are readily surfaceable right here from within my CRM. But more importantly, again, I want to build a relationship with Taylor. I want to make sure that I take this opportunity to reintroduce myself to Taylor, reevaluate her financial goals, and just build rapport with Taylor as well. I can again bring Sales Navigator to the forefront to see the potential icebreakers I have with Taylor to break the ice again, build better rapport. But also on top of that, I can leverage LinkedIn's InMail capabilities to facilitate that relationship building process. Now, when I do this, it's allowing me to have a triple threat approach to reaching out to Taylor. And I like to say it's a triple threat because it hits the customer in 3 different ways. They get a notification on LinkedIn. They would get a push notification on their mobile app if they have LinkedIn on their phone. And then also they get an email alert. So there's great ways of just solidifying how I interact with my clients in particular. And this is a great way of, one, reaching out to Taylor and congratulating her on her new role, but also it gives me a great opportunity to reconnect with her and reevaluate her financial goals. And then I can even solidify a way of either meeting in person or meeting virtually with Taylor, again, to talk through those goals and initiatives. Better yet, since our integration is tight with the CRM, we can log this InMail directly back to Taylor's contact record inside of the Salesforce or CRM platform. That way, when I reach out to her next time, I know exactly what we've talked about before. If she's engaged with anything that I've sent her, I have all that 360 view right in one place, saving me a lot of time and energy. And it also helps me put the needs of Taylor first. Now, by tying my CRM to Sales Navigator, now financial advisors like Angela can keep up to date on her portfolio, seize the opportunity to gain more market share with their 401k program, and also use the insights to help her gain the title of trusted advisor and make her clients successful. Now let's pivot a little bit into more of a B2B lens. Now we know that commercial banking is a highly competitive environment. And in order to stand out, bankers must personalize their outreach to build strong relationships with their customers. And there are no better tools than using your single source of truth, your CRM, and the world's largest professional network of LinkedIn. Today, we're going to meet John, and John's a commercial banker. We'll see how he can unlock proactive insights on his institutions and leverage relationship intelligence to uncover hidden allies. Now let's jump in the shoes of John. Now, logging in as a commercial banker to Sales Navigator, it's more important for me to truly understand how I can partner with my businesses and my clients and provide help in a timely way. I have a large portfolio and it makes it challenging to strike when the iron's hot. And when I first log into the Sales Navigator platform, my book of business from the CRM is automatically pulled in here, making sure that any alerts that I get inside the platform, whether that's people that I follow or businesses that I follow, I get all that tailored alerts right here for me, saving me a lot of time and energy and understanding when it is the opportune time to reach out to these specific customers. Better yet, we have a feature enhancement coming down the pipeline called Account Hub, which just up levels this a little bit further to, again, give me my CRM accounts list, but also give me any recent alerts that's happened at the company and a best pathway in. One thing that LinkedIn is known for is knowing where people work at any given time and the titles that they have, and also how we're connected to each other as well. This is a great way for us to partner with you to solidify a recommendation for a best path in to the specific business that you want to partner with. Now I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here to find a recent partner of ours that we want to work with, which is Zotech Partners. Now, when I click into the company profile, it's going to give me all the different insights that I know about the company. This could be individuals that work at the company. This could be opportunities we have en route with the business in particular. And one thing that I also want to solidify is the decision makers that exist at the account. So I can have an account map to help me better understand that landscape of decision makers as well. I also need to make sure that I have as many internal champions as possible at the business as well, just to make sure that I'm multi-threaded in those organizations. And using Relationship Explorer, I can do just that. I have my persona built in of the specific people that I want to find. And PS, CRM is pushing me intelligence to know the typical people we work with as far as the job titles that we close one business with. It's also going to surface those here. And better yet, it's going to help me filter down even further just to find those people that I know that know somebody else that works at Zotech, those people with shared experiences, whether we went to the same university together, where we worked at the same place in the past, and also those people that are actively engaged on the platform as well. Those are going to be key people that I would want to start the process of building relationships with. And I can even see right notated inside the Relationship Explorer, those people that I haven't engaged with that don't exist in CRM already. Now, one lead that is filtered up to the top for me from the CRM Intelligence and the Sales Navigator is actually Steve Chopla. He's a recommended contact because of the title that he holds at Zotech, a finance manager position. We can see he's recently hired, so that we know he's probably looking to make some waves at his organization and best help and put his name out there. We can also see we have a mutual connection with Steve as well. I can leverage my relationship with Erica to quickly and easily ask her for a warm introduction to Steve, increasing the likelihood of me getting a response by over 20%. And this is invaluable for me at streamlining my relationship building process and ensuring that I'm reaching out to the right people at the right time. Once I get that warm introduction from Erica, I can actually quickly and easily create this record back inside a CRM and notate that it does look for duplicates as well in the CRM, so that I don't take a lead that already exists or a contact that already exists and push another duplicate to your CRM. We are very conscious of that, and we want to make sure we partner with you there as well. Now, with it just a quick few clicks, I can create this contact of Steve Chopla. I can relate him to the account that exists inside of my CRM. And this will ensure that all of my activity that I have with Steve is logged back to that CRM, as we saw with Taylor in the previous. We can have any of that emails, the connection requests, all those things logged back to Steve, just helping me have the ability to reference back to what outreach has already taken place and allowing me to focus on building the relationships necessary at my target organizations. Now, with just a few clicks here, I can create that back into CRM, and this seamlessly goes to your source of truth. Now we can see that Steve was really easily created using LinkedIn data to enrich our CRM process. And better yet, now that I have Steve in there, I can build that relationship with him. While I'm in CRM, it's also important for me to stay on top of my recent opportunities. So what I'm going to do is leverage some standard out-of-the-box LinkedIn reports. Now, when we install the package via the App Source store for Dynamics customers or App Exchange package for our Salesforce customers, you get these LinkedIn reports out of the box that really help leverage that relationship intelligence that we're partnering with you on. And this integration opens up the ability for me to understand those contacts that may have moved on to new opportunities, and helps me by evaluating that contact to account relationship in CRM and cross-referencing what they have actively listed on their LinkedIn profile. Now, if there's a discrepancy, we'll flag that contact as no longer being there. And this solidifies the opportunity for you to leverage these reports. Two key reports that I want to call out that a lot of customers are finding great value in is our past customers and new companies. This is a list of individuals that we've done close one business with that are no longer at the company that you have them at listed in Salesforce. They have moved on to a new organization. The other piece is contacts no longer at open opportunities. So for example, as we mentioned before, stakeholders are leaving at a faster rate than ever before. This allows me to stay on top of my list of opportunities, to know where those individuals are going, and even follow them to their new opportunities to create a new business opportunity as well. For example, with those past customers. These are all things that our operations individuals love, to find those new white space opportunities, but also our leadership teams, so they can identify that deal risk and help these deals get back on track. So let's click into our contacts no longer at open opportunities. This is a key report that will be helpful for us in the commercial banking space to understand our stakeholders. Here at the bottom, we have a list of 4 individuals that I have active opportunities with that are listed as no longer being at the company. One that calls out specifically to me is an account, Next Gear Capital. And we can see on the right side that our close date is at 6:30. So next month, we are supposed to close this opportunity with Next Gear Capital, but we can see Courtney Crispin, one of our key stakeholders, has actually moved on. Now, what we need to do here is make sure that we leverage LinkedIn to understand who may have backfilled that position in the landscape of decision makers, as I mentioned before. We're going to use that intelligence to find those individuals. Now, with a quick click, I go into the Next Gear Capital account. I can understand the demographics and the information that's captured in CRM up to this point. And this is where I can see on the right side, we're taking full circle back to our Sales Navigator widget for our Next Gear Capital account. Again, this is where I can find those people that I should be working with here in the future. I have all that intelligence that we saw in Sales Navigator now actively displayed in my CRM. And we can see all this information quickly and easily, and we're proactively pushing insights so that you can stay on top of your book of business and helping better partner with you to reach out exactly at the right time with the right people. Now, before Sales Navigator, I would have to rely on existing relationships at the business to make sure that we talk to the right people. Now I can utilize smart alerts to understand the best accounts or relationships that I should be prioritizing. I can also leverage LinkedIn's unique and dynamic first-party data to find those contacts that may be out of date. And this helps me find hidden allies, keep my deals on track, and work smarter within my accounts. Now, before I pass it back to Matt to talk a little bit more about how we're partnering with you to make sure that we're giving you that return on investment, we want to just solidify the ease of use of turning this on. It's easy as just 3 steps. And what the first step is downloading the app off the App Source or the App Exchange page. The App Source is available for those Microsoft and Dynamics customers. App Exchange is for those Salesforce CRM customers. With just a quick download, you get a bulk of these value adds really quickly within a matter of 15 to 30 minutes. Very, very quick and easy to turn on. From there, the only thing that we ask for is the access that we do require for the integration to flow. So having the access to those objects that we require, like leads and contacts and accounts, also opportunities, having those abilities to allow that access opens up this ability for us to integrate fully with your CRM. And then from there, once the connection is made, it's a really easy, simple toggle-based feature enablement effort to turn on the features that you find most important for your business. Now, the thing that I will mention as well is we're here to partner with you. We understand that data security is top of mind for a lot of financial institutions, and we have partnered with several to get this online. You'll actually hear from one here in a little bit, but we want to make sure that we partner with you in that effort. So be sure to lean on your relationship manager from the LinkedIn side to better help, and we'll get you the resources that you need. Now I'll pass it back to Matt quickly to talk a little bit more about the ROI reports we get with Sync when it's turned on.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate that. And again, just to reiterate, that was just a bit of a surface review of some of the feature functionality. And as Dylan mentioned, we would be glad to connect you with your relationship professional here at LinkedIn if you'd like to go deeper. But last thing we did want to mention, another thing that financial institutions in particular really value about the CRM integration is pretty common question they ask us: how do we assess the return on this investment? Very fair question. And we want to get customers beyond just looking for survey results and instead look at hard empirical data. And the great news is about CRM Sync is with a push of a button, we can run those reports that reference hard empirical data about what sort of return you're getting on your investment. We'll be able to run really developed reports over certain time periods, which will give us metrics on how much business you have won that's actually been touched by LinkedIn and Sales Navigator, key activities that were completed for individual deals. And we'll draw inferences around what that means for your sourcing rate, your win rates, and your deal sizes. The good news is that any customer that does in fact integrate their CRM with Sales Navigator, we can run this reporting at the touch of a button in a matter of seconds, provide that to you, and give you that peace of mind that you're truly getting that return on your investment dollar. But let's just not take LinkedIn's word for it. I am incredibly happy today to have a customer with us, a customer that has fairly recently gone through the integration process. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to one of my team members, Audrey Lauder. Audrey's a key account manager on my team. And the gentleman joining us from BOK Financial is actually her customer. So I'm looking forward to seeing this chat here today. So Audrey and Chris, over to you.
Thanks, Matt. So hi, everybody. My name is Audrey Lauder, and I'm a key account relationship manager here within LinkedIn Sales Solutions. And my role is to advise our corporate and commercial banking, wealth management, and financial advisors on how to use LinkedIn top line revenue growth and deeper customer relationships themselves. Delighted to conversation as our voice of the customer panel to help us provide his perspective and the perspective of BOKF and how they actually leverage the Sales Navigator integration with their CRM system today. So just by way of introduction, Chris Fry is a senior consultant initiatives at BOK Financial 25 Regional Bank. He's based in Houston, Texas, where he graduated from Texas A&M with a degree in finance. Having worked for 10 years at BOKF, with nearly 8 years in corporate, municipal, and nonprofit banking, he is currently on the product owner team designing the Encino rollout, as well as supporting the broader Salesforce BOKF. Chris, excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Audrey.
Amazing. Great. So let's get into it. We would love to hear your perspective experience with LinkedIn Sales Navigator and the CRM integration. And so to dive right in, from your perspective, what is the business value that BOKF sees from this integration?
Yeah, so we've leveraged Salesforce as our CRM platform for about 15 years at this point. We have had our client-facing roles traditionally use it to manage prospects, clients, and opportunities. We've also turned to Salesforce to manage our loan origination and portfolio management as well. And so I'd say, like, given how important our CRM tool is to our institution, it's critical that we have high quality data within CRM. And we think the quality of LinkedIn data is honestly a real value add on that front. Our salespeople have always used LinkedIn as a key sales tool, but investing in Sales Navigator and marrying those two platforms really just feels natural in so many ways. Less time spent trying to find the information that is critical to our relationship managers or managing around poor data quality means more time that our client-facing users and relationship managers are focused on building relationships with and selling to clients. And I would even say for our support personnel, the better our data, the more time they can spend facilitating all of the activities they're doing around originating, booking, and internal managing of our client relationships, and the less time they have to spend bothering our salespeople about retrieving accurate data. And so, it's been a real value add from that standpoint.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's pretty powerful to see the cross-functional value across an organization when these two things click together. Let's talk a little bit more about the relationship professionals at BOKF. And from what you're seeing, how have those relationship professionals at BOKF directly benefited from the CRM integration with LinkedIn Sales Navigator today?
So, we've had our integration live for a couple months now. We've already seen instances where relationship managers are leveraging the tool to, let's say, both exercise a little bit of data hygiene in our CRM environment by cleaning up their records and retrieving current information. But we've also seen them leverage it as a key source of opportunities and for building insight around their customers. I would say the excitement and enthusiasm from our client-facing teams have been pretty overwhelming. I think we've been pleasantly surprised around the quality of data in LinkedIn, and folks really recognize the power in having that connection and access to both databases, no matter which portal they happen to be using, either Salesforce or LinkedIn at any given moment.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. Data hygiene is so important for the way that we do business today. So I'm really thrilled to hear the value that the organization and ultimately the relationship producers are seeing themselves. Chris, one of the biggest questions that we get here at LinkedIn Sales Solutions as it relates to this integration between LinkedIn Sales Navigator and CRM is, what is the process really like? And so we'd love to hear from you a little bit more about how you and your team found the integration process between LinkedIn Sales Navigator and your CRM system today.
So we went live with our CRM integration in just a few weeks, which is honestly quite fast. Generally, though, I would say like no integration process is ever 100% smooth. We found the LinkedIn process very straightforward. We did not need to leverage like senior developers or need to engage in like advanced configuration or customization. It was pretty user-friendly and plug and play. We had originally planned for about 2 months in total to take it live, but ended up going live with CRM Sync to end users in about a month, which was awesome. We also, I would say, loved the ability to link the CRM Sync to our sandbox environments for testing purposes first. And, just overall, we're very pleased.
That's incredible. I think hearing that BOKF was able to do it in just 30 days time frame should maybe shake off any fears or concerns about expediting this process, or to your point, the ease of actually doing it, right? Not having to bring in those senior developers that so often is the case, should feel a more doable process for clients that are similar to you all at BOKF. So thanks for sharing that. With that in mind, with other financial services organizations who are starting the process of syncing their CRM with Navigator?
Yeah, I would say the biggest piece of advice that I would give is honestly just the recognition that like Sales Navigator is feature rich. There's a lot of things you can do with it. And you can certainly turn on all the features all at once. That's very possible. But I think one reason we were able to get our institution comfortable with it and CRM Sync in place in particular was because we didn't try to eat the elephant all in one go, and instead targeted the features we felt would be most valuable early on. LinkedIn makes it very easy to do that. And so, I think that was a key thing to speed our delivery. I also think that the support we received from you guys was very strong, and to the extent we encountered an issue here or there along the way, the process and time to resolution was very rapid as compared to other integrations that we've attempted through Salesforce.
That's great. So sounds like, your experience has been LinkedIn's really kind of hand process the. It's good to hear. So Dylan, you're doing a good job on your part over there. And Chris, I think to maybe round out your opinion and your perspective of business value that it drives, I would love to hear from your point of view why leaders at other organizations should care about integrating CRM Sync based off of your experience and your team's experience at BOKF.
I think data quality and efficiency of process is really the name of the game here. Every organization that has salespeople are almost certainly already going to be engaged with LinkedIn in some capacity, even if they haven't signed up for the full-blown solution. But if centers of influence, CEOs, CFOs, business owners are anywhere on the internet, they tend to be on LinkedIn. And if you have a CRM platform that integrates with LinkedIn, I would consider CRM Sync in particular to be invaluable. Salesforce is our CRM environment. It's our one-stop shop for relationship managers at BOKF, and bringing our relationship managers the visibility to LinkedIn data right in that environment means less clicks and wasted effort by our bankers. We also chose to prominently display the LinkedIn widgets within our CRM. So users have direct access to that up-to-date information, news, what have you on their contacts and connections. They found that extremely valuable, and getting the benefit of seeing our CRM matches live within Sales Navigator also brings efficiency, because notes and messages to their connections can be logged right back to activity records in CRM, and it avoids RMs from having to do a ton of manual work just to keep current on where they are within the sales cycle with their key relationships.
That's great, Chris. Thanks for sharing that. And it sounds like it's all about creating efficiency, right? And good data is the cost of doing business these days. So we are super thrilled to know that BOKF is really a leader in this space and pioneering not only LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but how you all bring that technology into your CRM systems to make an overall lift across your relationship professionals, as well as the cross-functional partners who deal with this data every single day. So we really thank you for your perspective. It's highly valued here at LinkedIn, and we are excited about where things are going to go between LinkedIn and BOKF. And with that, I will turn things over back to Matt for closing remarks.
Great. Thanks, Audrey. And Chris, again, thank you for participating today. We very much value the partnership. So we've been monitoring the chat. We wanted to try and keep this to about 45 minutes, and we're right about there. So I'm going to respond to 4 quick questions, and then we'll talk about next steps. So there was a question just confirming which CRM. So we showed you Salesforce today, but CRM integration is also available with Microsoft Dynamics. There was a question around, can there be multiple instances supported? So multiple CRM instances. The answer to that is yes. There's a question about, is there an additional cost for this? That answer is no. It does require the LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced Plus SKU, but there is no additional charge. And then finally, there was a question about, I mentioned earlier, the ability to export LinkedIn data in a firmographic fashion. So this is not about Sales Navigator. It's more about just exporting LinkedIn's data. That is a solution called LinkedIn Sales Insights. For the person that asked that question, we'll get you some information. There were some other questions in the chat that are incredibly specific and perhaps a bit more unique. So what we plan to do is, everyone that's joined today, especially if you asked one of those questions, your relationship manager will follow up with you in due course. We will share a recording of this. And if you would like to follow up with us and you're unclear of who your relationship professional is, I am always happy to help. Again, I can be found, of course, on LinkedIn at Matt Repking, and feel free to ping me and say, who is my rep at LinkedIn, if you don't know, and we'll make that connection. So with that, I want to thank Chris from BOKF, Audrey, and Dylan for the time today. And more importantly, I want to thank all of you, our customers and prospects that joined us. We look forward to continuing the dialogue, and have a great rest of the day.